Fantasy VII is a horrible game. What, you noticed something different about me? Well, I did change up my filming location, there's that. And, oh yeah. I stick my tongue out now. Also, I'm wearing contacts today, so we should probably be able to get on with this. Because quite frankly, I just want to get on with this stupid Metacritic reviewer. Because today we're actually going to be talking about the story side of Final Fantasy VII. Let's have a great time, everybody. So, today, everybody, we're going to be starting off with characters. The most important part
of any story. You see, characters make up a very crucial part in Final Fantasy VII, because while the story is complex and confusing, the characters are incredible. They make up the best part of the game. Did you seriously think they wouldn't notice if you tried to replace me, you imposter?
Man, I'm really sorry, man. I'm really sorry.
Oh yeah, you better be sorry, buddy!
Look, man, please don't hurt me, man. I got a family to take care of here, man.
You really want to beg for my forgiveness now? Oh, listen, it's not what it's not what it looks like. I promise.
Please call an ambulance, man.
Hey, you weren't gonna call the cops, right? It's just a little misunderstanding. That's all it is. You can't call the cops on me if you call the cops. All joking aside, everyone, why don't we actually get into this for a bit? Next up, he says the characters are bland, seeming like either cliches or characters from a dime store novel. Here's what you have. Brooding character 1 with past regrets, an obligatory big sword. Innocent young flower girl. Angry black man with machine gun arm. Brooding character 2 with a gun, obligatory end-ship engineer. Mutant dog? Cat with megaphone, obligatory ninja, love interest. And last, but assuredly least, a generic psychopath with an obligatory big sword, watered-down Oedipus complex, Messiah complex, and the personality of Styrofoam. These are terrible, even for a low-budget game. Alright, so this section is mostly his opinion, but there is some still misguided information here. It's not necessarily incorrect, but he's leaving out certain details or just oversimplifying things. Let's start with Cloud, the main character. Makes sense why he started with him. So yes, Cloud is indeed brooding, and Cloud does indeed have a large sword. Congratulations, you looked at a picture of the character. However, he brings up past regrets and claims that Cloud has them, but that's not entirely true. Cloud doesn't remember his past. So what? He gets a 2 out of 3, that's not horrible, but it's also not accurate, so... oh well, he'll get him next time. Okay, something I want to point out before we continue is he's acting like all of these characters are tropes. First of all, he brings up twice an obligatory big sword. Yeah, okay, it's an anime game. Who cares? The next few characters he starts bringing up, he acts are these big tropes, and even if they are becoming tropes, keep in mind this game came out in 1997. They practically invented most of these tropes. So, anyway, moving on. The innocent flower girl, Aerith. Oh my god. Innocent? It really depends on your opinion of innocent, as while she might seem that way and she seems rather sheltered, you'll learn through the story of the game she's not just some random flower girl. So again, he's oversimplifying this. And he does bring up flower girl, and okay, she sells flowers. That's not a character trait. At all. And Final Fantasy VII doesn't spend a lot of time on that. They just say, she sells flowers and she kind of likes them. That's something she likes. And it's cool, because Final Fantasy VII establishes something. They establish, hi, this character likes flowers. This is a fun fact about her. She's relatable, and it works. She's not innocent, by the way. She watched the love of her life die. And by watch, I mean she sort of mentally felt it. It's not really explained, but it's believed through the life stream, which is the life of the planet or whatever. Complicated stuff when you have to get into. But she essentially feels when the love of her life dies. She feels it! So she's not innocent. She's also the last of her race. There's no way in hell you can call her innocent. She is complex and interesting. I don't even like her all that much, and I'm offended about this. Try again, man. Now we get to one of my favorite tropes. The angry black man with the machine gun arm. Barret. Now, I've already mentioned in part 1 that I think Barret's a cool dude, so for him to be reduced down to this trope is upsetting to me. He didn't bring up the fact that Barrett does cool stuff like, gee, I don't know, raise the daughter of his dead best friend. I'm just saying, man, Barrett's a pretty cool dude, and for you to reduce him down to being a angry black man with a machine gun arm is really, really stupid.
I also just want to point out that if you look up angry black man with a machine gun arm, the only character similar to him is, well, Barrett. And it even takes a while for us to see Barrett. You can see a Barrett for a second there, but he doesn't have his trademarked machine gun arm trope, and it actually takes us a while to get there. So to call this a trope is just incorrect and stupid, and it makes you sound dumb.
Now we're going to move on to my personal favorite character, the angry, brooding man with a gun. Vincent. Now, I could say that I like Vincent because he's this cool, edgy, brooding man, but that's not why I like Vincent. I like Vincent because of his backstory, something that is not shown in this review. Now, again, for the sake of context, this is a heavy spoiler review, so just be warned again. You see, Vincent was a Turk, someone who worked under Shinra. While he was working as a Turk, he met a girl named Lucretia. She was a lab assistant to Professor Hojo, who's super important in the story. Anyway, Vincent falls in love with Lucretia, and Lucretia kind of rejects him because she thinks he's kind of weird and creepy. Tim Burton-looking ass. Anyway, so she decides to go out with Hojo. Little does she know, however, Hojo is using her so he can impregnate her and then fill their baby with the cells of an alien called Genova to create a super life form, force Lucretia to pop out a baby who ultimately becomes the big bad villain Sephiroth. And then he shoots Vincent and experiments on him, so now Vincent turns into demons and is essentially a vampire. Yeah, Vincent sounds super badass now, doesn't he? Moving on to our famous airship engineer, Sid. Okay, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. Sid is not a great person, but that doesn't make him not a great character. Yes, he is an airship engineer, but he's also kind of low-key abusive to the person who loves him most. And this isn't without good reason. Here's my point. See, Sid wanted to go up into space, and they built a rocket in his town, and they were ready to go to friggin' space! And Shinra said, nah, we don't care about space no more, buddy. The project's canceled, you can't leave. So now Sid, who spent, 10 years of his life working on this project, is sitting there, and he's now a broken husk of a man. So yeah, he's a complete total ass, but I don't blame him, man. He's been through a lot. He deserves better than to just be an airship engineer. Move on to another one of my favorite characters, Red 13, who he calls the mutant dog. Red 13's not a dog. He looks more like a lion, and he's not even a lion. You see, Red 13 is actually a species completely native to their home planet of Gaia. It's currently unnamed, but we're just gonna call it a lion-like species. To say he's just a mutant dog, again, is undercutting his character. He lived his whole life believing he was the last of his species, which he's not. And even worse, absolutely heartbreaking, is that he watches his father, who was turned to stone, cry. You see, his father is standing protecting his home village. When they go to visit him, for some reason, the statue of him, which was his actual father who got turned to stone, starts to cry. It's an emotional scene, and it's a great character development for Red 13. It teaches him to not just look at everything at face value. Sometimes we have to go deeper and not just look at what we can see. Now it's time to move on to our cat with megaphone. Kate Sith, huh? Well, he's not an incredibly complex character. All you need to know about him is that's not all he is, and that little character that you see, not the big Moogle, not even the cat, that's not him. That's all remote controlled by a Shinra operative who betrays Cloud and the gang and then is like, hey, I want to join your crew now. Yeah, he's actually pretty complicated for just being a cat, man, with a megaphone.
And again, I looked up cat with megaphone to see if it was a trope, but it's not. Again, dude, the only cat with megaphone trope I could see is if you watch The Amazing World of Gumball, occasionally Gumball, who is a blue cat, pulls out a megaphone to talk to the town of Elmore. But that's not a trope, that's just an action people do. And seriously, when I looked up cat with megaphone, Kate Sith barely shows up. and it's super far at the bottom. So yeah, why don't you tell me if that's a trope?
On to the last two of our protagonists. The obligatory ninja, Yuffie. Alright, I'll admit, yeah, she's just a ninja. She steals some of your stuff, and there's a little side quest where you can go get it back. But other than that, yeah, she's not very complicated. She is just an obligatory ninja. But keep in mind, Vincent and Yuffie are secret characters. You don't unlock them through the story. They're entirely optional, so if you don't like them, you don't have to pick them. But Yuffie's a ninja, and ninjas are freaking cool. Now, this is the one that pisses me off the most. The obligatory love interest. Tifa is so much more than just a love interest for Cloud, and it honestly sickens me when that's all you can think of her. She is an important character who stands as a crutch for Cloud and actually saves Cloud's character. She is constantly there for him even when he doesn't deserve her. She is kind and puts up with everyone, and even hears Cloud's story through to the end, even though she knows for a fact that that's not what she remembers. So I don't know, you tell me, is she just a basic love interest? Also, she beats the living crap out of everything with her bare fists. That is super dope! I guess I should just be happy he didn't use the traditional sort of remark against her, which is, it's a booby girl.
Finally, Sephiroth, the big bad. Psychopath? Oh yeah, and a brutal one at that. Big sword? No, no, no. Long sword. Oedipus complex? Alright, now this is just borderline insulting. Don't ever suggest that Sephiroth, the mighty one-winged angel, would ever try and copulate with his alien mother. That story's longer than his sword. A Messiah complex? Yeah, genius, that's the point. He thinks because he has the super soldier cells of Genova in him that he's above everyone else, and he wants to destroy Gaia with the black materia called Meteor so that he can remake it in his image. As for his personality, you confuse styrofoam with being a cold, merciless killer. So you basically got a third of this right. Congratulations! Now see me after class. And I do want to cover his final point on characters at this point. He talks about them being worse than a low-budget character, but that's kind of dumb. It doesn't matter if you have no budget. This entire argument is stupid to me, no matter who brings it up. Characters don't necessarily need money to be created and developed. You can do that all for free. I do it all the time on Word, and I just upload them onto Wattpad or whatever. The point is, you don't need money to make a character. You could have a $50 game that is absolute garbage, but incredible characters because the developer used his money to do the best he could to make the game and made the story for free. Imagination doesn't cost money. Now, if he was trying to imply that Squaresoft had no imagination, understandable. Have a nice day.
Now, for those of you who saw part 1, remember when I said I was going to cut it short because I was on time restraints and that characters would take a long time? That's what's happening. Again. Yep, characters took almost 15 minutes. Which means there's going to be a part 3! Oh boy, it's a trilogy now. So anyways, yes, so today was all about characters, and not tomorrow, but whatever the next part comes out, will be all about the story and the gameplay. So hopefully I can finish this up and get it out, because today is 4/20, so if you're smoking weed, that's probably how you found this. You're probably high off your rocker and you're like, whoa, dude, let me check out this vid, bro. So, yeah. Anyway, again, I just want to reiterate what I said at the end of part 1. Don't let me or this guy's opinions decide what you feel about Final Fantasy VII. If you really like the game, then go ahead, love the game. It's amazing. If you hate the game, then I'm sorry to disagree with you, but you've got an opinion. It's better for you to have an opinion of your own than just have a copied opinion from someone on the internet. And before I go, I do have to legally state that all the music is owned by Square Enix, and so is that footage of Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, the fight between Cloud and Sephiroth. Anyway, have a nice day, everyone. I'm Theo, I've been holding the same wooden sword since last time, and I still am not wearing any pants. Ciao.